Yes.
We're good. Okay. Thank you, sweetie. Okay. This parasha is Parashat. We're going live on Facebook. Parashat Nitzavim. So we had Ki Tetzeh, when you go out to war. Ki Tavo, when you come to the land. How to fight this war. What are you going to do in order to settle the land? And now, do you remember last week's Parsha kind of ended up like very, very traumatic with all the curses. So what happened was that the Jewish people were mamish, literally shaking in their boots. Like it's like it was like those horror movies that are not Hollywood. There's no good ending. And it was the curses, like if you do not walk in Hashem's way, there are 94 curses and things that could happen to you. Klalot, 94. So what happened was that Moshe sensed that the Jewish people were mamish, that the wind was taken out of them. So he gathers them all up. That's called Nitzavim. And he says, you're all standing here today. It's really an exercise in mindfulness, you know? You're here today. You're okay. You're alive. You made it through 40 years of tribulation. Hashem has never abandoned you. And you people that are here, he says, obviously this is towards the end. So all the people that the process weeded out, so to say, the people who didn't make it into the land, are not alive already at this point. They're mamish on the cusp, the eve of going into Eretz Yisrael. And he says, Atem nitzavim hayom. You're all standing here today. Okay? This is such an important lesson, you know, that we cannot despair, you know, that when we do teshuvah, it's so important that you don't scare yourself to death. A lot of times people get so nervous from these time of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and you're like, is God going to write me in the good book or the bad book or the middle book? What book will I be written in? And you get all nervous. And Hashem is saying, hey, I love you. You're here today. We have a relationship. And we are here today, meaning we have a relationship. You're standing here in front of me, and I am in front of you. That's what Elul is. Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. This is a verse from Shir HaShirim, very known. It became a hit verse that on my ketubah, I have Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I've always wanted to get a ring with that writing Ani ledodi v'dodi li. But a lot of people don't realize there's another verse that's very similar to it in Shir HaShirim, is Dodi li va'ani lo. My beloved is to me, and I am to him. My beloved is mine, and I am his. Because we only know the first verse became very popular. Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved is mine, and he is to me as well. So what's going on? Are these two verses complementary of each other? Do they have totally separate meanings? So the answer is yes, they are complementary of one another. And the avoda, the work of this period of the year, of Elul, leading up to Rosh Hashanah, leading up to Yom Kippur, where we're going to be inscribed, what kind of year we're going to have. We're inscribed for life, for health, for whatever it is, the experiences that we're going to go through. We have this amazing opportunity to initiate the relationship. Because you see, Dodi li, my beloved is to me, it's always true. There's no special time of the year that God has our back, that God is there for us, that God is God. God is taking care of us, that he's our Father, that he is compassionate, that he's constantly breathing life into us as we speak right now. All of us are right now having kidneys that function, and we don't even have to think about it. I don't have to press a button and tell my kidneys to work, you know? I had to do some blood work this week, and I'm feeling so horrible, and then she's showing me my blood work is really good. And instead of fighting, I say, oh, but so why do I feel this way? We'll find out the reason. But it was like, wow, put a twist on it. Thank God. My liver functions are good. My kidney functions are good. You know? Isn't that amazing? I didn't have to do anything for that. It just is. Dodi li, my beloved is to me. That's the constant status quo we're in. God always loves us. God always wants the best for us. God always wants to bestow his compassion and his love and his kindness on us. Now, this time of year, whole year went by, we went through a lot of experience. Now it's my turn to initiate. It's not a one-way dance, you know? God is constantly handing out his hand to us, reaching out to us. During this time, we affirm this relationship by showing we're serious and we're committed to it. And we're saying, Ani ledodi, I'm to my beloved. And Hashem in turn says, I'm always there for you. I've never left you. I've always been by your side. And my beloved is to me. It's a two-way street. But now we're more conscious of my part in it, the responsibility. It's standing up and owning up. It's really standing up to it. I need to just admit someone in. Okay. Everybody's in. So the other thing is so interesting about what Moshe is telling them. The commentators ask a question. If the curses were there to evoke awe of God, and the curses were there to say, hey, it's like you tell your kid, listen, if you're not going to listen to me, these are the consequences. Like you're not going to get the car. If you continue to behave like this, we might not pay for college, right? It's not that you're trying to scare the child, is you're trying to align the child and remind him of the benefits of walking on the path that's going to lead him to success, right? So it needs in last week's parsha, what happened is that the curses were told to the Jewish people in order to bring them back on the path. But what happened was that Moshe noticed that the Jewish people fell into despair and into hopelessness. And this is how it ties beautifully into this time of year. It is so important that in the process of soul accounting, what we call cheshbon hanefesh, and in the process of finding ourselves and recommitting ourselves to the relationship, it's not to fall into despair and hopelessness, because that is not going to achieve what we're trying to achieve, which is a relationship with God. What is the goal of all of this? Elul, God is in the field, literally not just in a field. I always saw it as like God is in the field, meaning he's somewhere like in this, like the kind of like, this is how I saw it in my head. He's like in this ruggedy field with like very earthy kind of farmers, and he's like down there and like really digging in the dirt, you know, he's in the field. What does it mean literally God's in the field? He's literally in our field, wherever we may be. Wherever we are in our life, God is there in our field. Now that he's in our field, we have to ask ourselves, is God in my field? Am I seeing God? Am I integrating? Am I living a godly life? And am I behaving in a godly manner? Am I behaving in a godlike ways? Right? Because we're constantly trying to be godlike, meaning behave like him. Am I compassionate? Am I kind? Am I walking in the paths of Hashem, the path of the Torah, the commandments, you know? So what's so important is when we do this process is that we don't scare ourselves to death. And it's really, honestly, it's the work of the Yetzer Hara. Evil inclination likes to put us in a very dark place, in a place of despair. So we're doing teshuva. We're like, oh, I'd like to be a better person. I have goals and aspiration, but I always find myself being stuck, and I don't feel like I'm moving forward, and I feel disconnected from God, and I feel removed, and I feel like God hates me, and I feel like God is not happy with me, and I'm not good enough, and maybe I'm disappointing God. And those voices and those thoughts, they're never conducive. They're never beneficial. They don't actually propel us to be better. It's just a recipe for failure. So Moshe had to literally lift the Jewish people up and become like a coach and inspire them. And he says, Atem nitzavim po hayom, you're here today. You're here today. I just want to make sure. Okay. that we're here today, and Devorah, he's never abandoned us.
Devorah, that was Shoshana Kessler calling me. She's still in the hospital. God willing, she'll tomorrow.
Let's dedicate the learning for her.
Refuah Shlema for Shoshana Rivka Basrus, that she should get to come home from the hospital.
Amen. Amen. She's such a beautiful person. Hashem Shemamish help her. And we should hear only good news from one another. So he is telling them, you know what? Despair, hopelessness, there's no room for it in Judaism. Hashem loves us unconditionally, just the way we are. All we need to do in Elul is we don't even have to have a complete plan. It helps, okay? But Hashem wants from us, Rahmana li babaya. Hashem wants our heart. All he wants is our heart. He wants our heart, okay? He wants to know that we want him. And the minute we desire him and we yearn for that relationship to be closer with God, it already happens. There's nothing that has to happen because Dodi Li, God is always there for us. My beloved is to me, it's a given. That is the intrinsic nature of God. That is the status quo. Dodi Li, God is always there for us. My beloved is always there. Now, Anila Dodi, I'm initiating this relationship. I'm saying, God, I might have strayed away. I might have got distracted. Man, we had a crazy year this year, right? And it's been a disappointing year because we all thought we overcame COVID, especially in Israel. We're leading it in the world, right? And we're hit strong with Delta, So it's been like disappointing. Everybody wants to go back to normal life and routine and school for the kids and gatherings. And we all yearn for this, And in the process, I think of it, we gave up and we despaired. And we might have said, where's God? Like, what's happening here, God? Like, hello? What happened to 2 weeks to flatten the curve? You remember that one? Give us 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Turned into a year and a half. What, Hashem fell asleep on the job? Like he's left the world and he's out in Hawaii and he's not watching us anymore? No. He is with us. There's a plan. Hashem has a plan, and it's a good plan, and it's hard to see it, okay? And we need to know that whatever it is we need to know, we'll know. That Hashem will give us clarity, and I will know whatever I need to know whenever I need to know it. You will know whatever you need to know whenever you need to know it. So this time of year, we put all those, what we call in Hebrew, sfekot, safek, doubts, all the doubts away. And it's time for us to increase our love for Hashem, the awe and the love. But I think we live in a generation where we're so depressed and we're so full of anxiety and doubt and self-negative talk that I think the avoda, the real tikkun of Elul and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is not to beat ourselves down. Like Moshe in this week's Parsha, he's actually empowering the Jewish people. He said, don't despair. You're all standing here today. Hashem loves you. He's not going to abandon you. He's always going to be there for you. And that's what you need to tell yourself. Say, I am here today. Like I made it through year 2021. Bezrat Hashem, another year to come. Hashem has invested breath into me daily because he believes in me. His faith in me is so great. Rabba emunatecha. And wow, there's something to celebrate. Celebrate a year that we had lived another year, right? And here we are today, again, standing in front of Hashem. Atem nitzavim, the name of the parasha. Remember I said that you could learn the meaning of the parsha from the name. Kind of get the essence of the whole message just from the name of the parsha. Atem nitzavim, we're here today standing. What does it mean, standing? Is also standing your ground, is knowing who you really are. Who am I, Devorah Cohen? Am I Devorah Cohen, Rebbitzin and Torch? Am I Devorah Cohen, wife of Rabbi Cohen? Am I Devorah Cohen, mother of my children? Am I Devorah Cohen, teacher? Am I Devorah Cohen, cleaner? I do that a lot. So who is the real me, And the real me, and the real you, and the real you, Annette, and the real Rosalie, and the real Martha, and the real whoever's on this call. The real us, who is us? The real us, we're chelek Elokam iman. We're part of the divine spark. I am for my beloved, and my beloved is for me. We are connected. It's a package deal. We are godly creatures because God made us in his image. That's really who I am. So if I start doubting myself and there's a name for this, if you could help me, where you put yourself down, where you just
flatulate, something like that.
Yeah, something like the basic
Self-deprecation.
Yeah,
Self-deprecation.
self-deprecation. If you involve with self-deprecation, because a lot of times people take the work to an extreme, and that what happened was the Jewish people were so freaked out in last week's parsha that they were ready to give up. They were like, "We're not going to make it into the land." He's like, "Hey, hello, relax. You're here. You made it. Hashem loves you. He's like taking you through the desert, the tribulations, and you made it." So I think we need to pat ourselves on the back. We made it through the tribulations and the test of year 21. In Hebrew, year Tafshin, Ayin. Which one was it? Why doesn't it say it here? I always forget the Hebrew one. But we're here in the Hebrew year of 5781, approaching 5782, and we made it. And kol hakavod to us, it's really not simple to be an Eved Hashem, to be a servant of Hashem during this time. It's really not easy. So much distraction, so much self-doubt, so much fear, anxiety, uncertainties. So the fact that we are here today, making time to learn Torah, taking time to self-reflect, taking time to grow, and it's basically we are recommitting to this relationship with God. We should go to sleep tonight with a really good feeling. Thank you, Hashem, that you're in my field and I have you in my field. Like, what a great feeling that is. Hashem is in my field and I have Hashem in my field and he has me in his field, right? We're together in this, together in the journey of life. You know where the pain in life comes from? When we separate ourselves from Hashem, when we think we're alone in the journey. We're alone and all these terrible things happen to us and I'm a victim of my own circumstances and the circumstances that God brought into my life or whatever it is. You're never alone. And the journey that you're on is a perfect journey for you. It's a journey meant, custom made for you. Hashem loves us so much that he custom makes our journeys are not identical. They're very, very, even in the same family, you'll see with their own kids, they each have their own path, their own journey, their own experiences, So, and I started feeling it this week because my son started pre-K. He's 5 years old. And he has like his own life now. Like when he was little, I knew every little thing. But I was hearing him speak with his friend and it's like, I'm seeing the independence in him starting. He's my baby. So I'm like holding on to him. I'm like, oh, but he has his own life, and we're all on this journey, the journey called life. And the happiness that we should have during this time is that Hashem Mamash has our back. He is in our field. He's taking care of us. It's not just a field out there. Like I used to see it as a removed thing. Like I got to go now find a field. What area code is this? No. It's your area code. It's your zip code. God is literally in your field. He's coming to you. You're not coming to someone else. He's individually visiting each and every one of us in our place. In our place. What does that mean? That he loves us just the way we are. He's aware of our tests. He's aware of our challenges. He's aware. He's not judging us for where we are, okay? But will judge us what we do with where we are, right? What are the choices, the free will we exercise with the circumstances that we got? Because we all have free will and choices to make. And we all have a journey. And we could blame our journey. A lot of people do that. I've done that. I do that a lot of times. But the bottom line is Someone else could have the same identical experience and they're dealing with it completely different. What is it? It's not that they're so much greater. It's they made a conscious decision and they're exercising their free will to deal with their test, their nisayon, their experience, their journey, their challenge, their tribulation in a noble and royal way. And they're choosing Hashem wherever they are. Within their field, they're choosing Hashem. It's really about choosing Hashem. It's like elections for Hashem. So you got to put in your vote now. You got to say, Hashem, I'm voting for you. I'm good. Maybe the whole year I forgot to vote for you. And I voted for my ego, and I voted for money, and I voted for fame, and I voted for chocolate or whatever it is that made me feel better in the moment, you know? But I realized, strip that all away, that it's only me and you, God. It's you and me, baby. We're in a tango dance, and I'm recommitting myself to this relationship. You have to understand, Hashem never left us, right? It's we get disconnected from the distractions in our life. So now's the time to say, Hashem, I really didn't mean to get distracted. I'm back. I'm here. Help me, you know? Because I know that the distractions are going to happen. It's life. But I want you to know that my heart's there. I want to be connected with you. So it's so interesting, again, how this parsha totally ties into this time of year. And there's this beautiful pasuk that I just love. I love this pasuk. And it goes, לא בשמיים היא, התורה לא בשמיים היא, כי בפיך ובלבבך לעשות. So I'm going to read it to you in English. The practicality of Torah for the mitzvah, which I command you this day, is not beyond you, nor is it remote from you. It's not in heaven. לא בשמיים היא. It's not across the sea. Rather, it is very close to you. כי קרוב אליך הדבר, בפיך ובלבבך לעשות. Life and death had set before you blessings and curse, and you shall choose life. So you know this pasuk, ובחרת בחיים, it comes from this week's parsha. I think, again,